the bass where they draw the, oh, thanks for the recording. The bow is drawn across the string. It sounds like it drops to like a minor note or something. Just it's fantastic. Well, good morning, everyone. Beautiful Sunday morning. I think I've said hi to everyone. And Bonnie brought me up to speed, and I read where you all were last week. We're in chapter 2, the relationship issue. In section 2, union with being, and it looks like we're about 6 paragraphs in. She said it's the paragraph that starts with "for our eternal holy being." And since I don't have a book, I don't know what page that is, but does that does that resonate
Page
with everybody?
23.
Is it
Page
page
10,
23?
23. Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's where we are. What I think I'd like to do is I'd like to back up one paragraph and start with my embodiment. And maybe I'll read that paragraph and then one into, and then we'll continue the march, as they say. My embodiment was not an act of humiliation. It was simply the union of the divine with the human, of the created with its source. It was a manifestation in form of eternal truth. Everything remains united to my love, always. When love meets love, does it degrade? You know that the greatest joy of a loving mother and father is being with their daughters and sons. Isn't that what happens in every holy encounter between you and me? How could it be degrading to join you and each of my beloved creations? For our eternal holy being to shine uninterruptedly in all its beauty and magnificence as the living sanctuary of divinity, it is necessary to set aside the idea that you are insignificant and could not be the abode of love. Needless to say, my beloved, that belief does not allow the lamp of the soul to connect to its energy source of infinite love. Notice that I said the soul and not the being. I use that expression to remind you that only a tiny part of the mind, not the being, and not the entirety of the soul, disconnects from truth when it harbors ideas far from love. That's pretty two good paragraphs to start things off. Frank, would you like to read those two again, please?
Boy, you're reading my mind this morning. Whew. Very well read, by the way, Jim.
Thank you.
My embodiment was not an act of humiliation. It was simply the union of the divine with the human, of the created with its source. It was a manifestation in form of eternal truth. Everything remains united to my love, always. When love meets love, does it degrade? You know that the greatest joy of a loving mother and father is being with their daughters and sons. Isn't that what happens in every holy encounter between you and me? How could it be degrading to join you and each of my beloved creations? For our eternal holy being to shine uninterruptedly in all its beauty and magnificence as the living sanctuary of divinity, it is necessary to set aside the idea that you are insignificant and cannot be the abode of love. Needless to say, my beloved, that belief does not allow the lamp of the soul to connect to its energy source of infinite love. Notice that I said the soul and not the being. I use that expression to remind you that only a tiny part of the mind, not the being, and not the entirety of the soul, disconnects from truth when it harbors ideas far from love.
Thank you. Anything
Things are swimming in
specifically,
that.
Frank?
You know,
Yeah.
I want to add something too. It was an interesting, very interesting experience listening to Ave Maria this morning. The progression for us, I think it's safe to say, is this idea that we're moving into a sharing. It's not just a personal experience of anything. And as I listened to Ave Maria this morning, I just kept having these images and ideas of sharing and people coming to mind, the live energy coming from you. So it was a shared experience, very literally for me this morning. And I guess that's going right into this, Jim, these two paragraphs, because I don't know that I have a comment on them as much as I have the experience of swimming in them. Thank you.
Yeah, that is indeed a great comment. It's great. Good morning, Hub.
Good morning, Jim, and good morning, everybody. Um, what came up in my mind was this idea that because we descend in form and now we use this form to express who I am, doesn't mean that we lose total connection. As a matter of fact, we're in the process of more and more expressing what Jesus was expressing. Yes. So we are at a certain level right now, but there comes a time that we are just the full embodiment of Christ consciousness. And there's no difference between heaven and earth. And it's not mean that I'm just here and don't remember my other parts that are connected. So that was some thought that I had about it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Iona.
Just was going back to that very first line that you both read. My embodiment was not an act of humiliation. That basically just brought down all those structures of people feeling guilt and shame and all those things that were impregnated into the ideas and the doctrines that he died for our sins, that it was an act of humiliation. All of that just gets completely wiped out. And these ideas of humiliation and shame and guilt and fear are all ideas that came from the idea of enslaving us, keeping us asleep. And this, of course, is the complete opposite. And he is an example for us. They were an example for us of the sacred union of the divine and the human divine. So it's just one small line, but it basically brings down centuries of enslavement.
I think that's the power of these books that we're all involved in. Like one line is just packed. A paragraph's almost more than I can take in a day. So yeah, thank you. That's great. Christina.
I just loved in relation to what Hub had said, it is basically that we are the living sanctuary of divinity. I thought that was beautifully phrased. And also the lamp of the soul. This writing is so poetic almost. It's just beyond, um, it's just beautiful words that have deep meaning. So that's all.
Yeah, thank you.
Living.
Uh, and good morning, Ian. Do you need to know where we are in the book? Do you have the book? Do you have a face we can see? Does it matter? Yeah. If you need to know, let me know. You don't have the book. Okay. So you're just listening. That's great. Welcome aboard. Yeah, just the arc for me of the whole experience of all of this thing that we're in, this whole business of it's not even transformation. It's more like we're already this thing. And in the various books that I'm reading in and out of this, like this difference between the I and me. Me is mental, I is eternal. And I just had such an experience of that this morning when I woke up. You know, that little twilight moment, like my eyes might not even be quite open yet, but I'm awake. And then I'm still in that alpha, theta, whatever. And then whatever bleeds through then is just always like, whoa, quite a trip. Yeah, I see it, Frank. Absolutely. That moment is just so, and this morning it was just such a clear sense of that the me I had created, the Jim Ron Ketty character, was all made up. And like when I showed up, when I incarnated into this, precious little baby body, somebody else said, that is James Edward Ronchetti. They made up that identity for me. I, coming bleeding through from one level of reality into this physical level of reality, was still just I. And it's just been a process of 80 years now of getting back to that I. And it's just felt this morning, I could just feel that difference between the me and the I. And I couldn't help think of that phrase in the Course in Miracles, removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. So it's not a transformation of me becoming this thing. I'm already that. The transformation is removing all of the stuff that got piled on top. And it's very, very freeing, very amazing, fantastic, and really fun. So it's one of these mornings. I'm quite enjoying it all. So, and I'm enjoying it all to hear each of your experience of where it's tapping you in this moment. And the power of these words is just so amazing to me. So,
Jim, I'm getting up with a far different eye than I have for decades and decades. And I know you know
I
what
hear
I mean.
you. No, I absolutely know it. And there's this energy we keep hearing about, the cosmic energy, and this event is coming. It's all the same thing. And it's like for me now, where I'm sitting, is like it's not so much of this thing's going to come in and I'm going to become something. It's going to be the energy is coming and it's peeling away what's been piled on top of it. And I can already feel what I am, who I am. And to just be walking around in a body and being this and sharing it, it's pretty amazing. A lot of fun. And occasionally I forget and then I come back again. So it's great. So continuing on, but worry not. Christina, do you have a book? Oh, you don't? Okay. Hub, you must have a book.
Yes, I do have a book.
Good.
Don't
Read on,
worry.
Read on, Macduff.
Don't worry not about whether you have released the belief in your insignificance. I assure you that the hinges, locks, and chains that held it in your mind and heart have been removed. The doors of ignorance of your true self has been thrown wide open. When you realize it, you are free. Let's put this another way. Daughter and son of light, you have already recognized the truth of your identity. You experience it daily. Little by little, it will become more common for you to live as who you really are. The habit makes the monk, as they say. In other words, in the daily practice of manifesting yourself as love, you will find the wisdom to be who you truly are. Cause and effect are one. It is by giving that one receives. That is, by expressing yourself as you were created, you will know that it means to live on earth as in heaven. Naturally, this encompasses a relationship. You cannot be who you truly are without relating to it. This is the simplest and clearest definition of what mystical union means. You join and remain joined without interruption with all that you are at all times. That is how the spirit and body remains united in the holiness of being. And I just think I'm just going to finish this.
Okay.
I said you cannot be who you really are without relating to it constantly. Of course, that relationship can be one of indifference and denial, or one of love and unity. Both options are a relationship. It is impossible to get out of relationship. Once you become aware of this and lovingly accept it, you take the next step. You choose love as the only means of relating to who you are.
Mm,
It's such a beautiful line. Love.
mm,
The next step, you choose love as the only means of relating to who you are. By making that choice, you make it for the entire universe. You relate to everyone and everything in love and truth. Beautiful.
wow. Amazing.
And that's what
I
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's what I said earlier, is that we more and more will be living in that
Yeah.
constantly, yes? Step by step, moment by moment, but it becomes what is possible right now is was not possible before, and it's kind of interesting, yes,
Mm,
because we have also to there's a relationship with the collective, yes, in our
Yeah,
own consciousness. So that's interesting. Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you. Iona, would you like to read that again, please? Starting with "But worry not."
Happy to. Thank you, Jim.
Yes.
But worry not about whether you have released the belief in your insignificance. I assure you that the hinges, locks, and chains that held it in your mind and heart have been removed. The doors of ignorance of your true self have been thrown wide open. When you realize it, you are free. Let's put this another way, daughter and son of light. You have already recognized the truth of your identity. You experience it daily. Little by little, it will become more common for you to live as who you really are. The habit makes the monk. In other words, in the daily practice of manifesting yourself as love, you will find the wisdom to be who you truly are. Cause and effect are one. It is by giving that one receives. That is, by expressing yourself as you were created, you will know what it means to live on earth as in heaven. Naturally, this encompasses a relationship. You cannot be who you truly are without relating to it. This is the simplest and clearest definition of what mystical union means. You join and remain joined without interruption with all that you are at all times. That is how the spirit and body remain united in the holiness of being. I said you cannot be who you really are without relating to it constantly. Of course, that relationship can be one of indifference and denial, or one of love and unity. Both options are a relationship. It is impossible to get out of relationship. Once you become aware of this and lovingly accept it, you take the next step. You choose love as the only means of relating to who you are. By making that choice, you make it for the entire universe. You relate to everyone and everything in love and truth.
Any thoughts, Iona, came up for you?
It's just so beautiful to read that
Oh,
out loud. It's
yeah.
it's it's where we are. I just felt the energy of it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Hub.
Of course, there's many lines that are beautiful, but one thing uh, what touched me, this idea of insignificance, because we grow up of that. Yes, we are so thought that we're just this miserable human being living on this planet under all these laws. And so just the fact that to realize the significance of our light, the significance of being the Son of God, that can change your life. Yes. And we need to come to a certain understanding that we value that part inside of us. And let's see here. Oh yeah, here it is. I was actually so that this assurance, I assure you that the hinges, locks, and chains that held it in your mind and heart has been removed. Yes, I mean, there's lots of things that are already removed, and we slowly get used to that. Yes, it's like when suddenly the gate from the prison have been open, you have to kind of get used that there's no lock on that door anymore. Yes, you can just step in
That's
and
it.
out at any time. So it's
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. Frank.
If I ever get the right buttons pushed here. It's not a struggle really. I'm just kind of allowing I guess the wholeness of this to come together in my mind, trusting what's going to come out of the mouth. But this paragraph here, well, I'll get the sentence before. The doors of ignorance of your true self have been thrown wide open. When you realize that you are free. Let's put this another way, daughter and son of light. You have already recognized the truth of your identity. You experience it daily. Little by little, it will become more common for you to live as who you really are. The habit makes the monk. That's a phrase I had not heard before. And I laugh because it is. This is what I'm experiencing out of Course in Love and the integration of all this, all these ideas and ways coming into one resource. It's helping me a great deal to recognize, and this is out of Course in Love, the idea that personal self is still here. That inner conversation I still have, that personal self is still here. And it is absolutely valid for what it is experiencing right now as a human being. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, everything. The habit that's coming from me now is this personal self. When I see any aspect of separation, I know it's from the outside. And the only solution is taking it inside for that relationship to be enfolded. And I really am picturing mixing an egg into cake batter. To be embraced, that's a part of me that needs to be honored as sacred. And finally, to be consumed, taken in to the self of union. That's been a work in progress, a part of a prayer that I'm just making part of my bone marrow and letting sink in everyday parts of it. Jim are coming into this wake up period every morning. There's quite a conversation. I guess the piece I would add to that in terms of my experience is how much Mary's become a part of this as well.
Mm.
It's her, my image, our image of her living in the world and contributing to change, not by what she said, but the way she carried herself, the way she carried herself in love. And so, with this idea of the personal self, any moment of separation becomes a closed eye opportunity to, this is mine to feel.
Mm. Mm.
This is mine to see. This is mine to share. And that becomes a dance within. I'm back to the idea of, and I did it this morning, waking up. I love sitting by the campfire with Jesus and Mary before we get on the road. Thank you.
It's fantastic. Thank you. And I heard this phrase. I think this is like the third or fourth time I heard it this morning. The habit makes the monk. And this is the first time I got the double entendre about it, because in the church, it's the nun's habit, it's the priest's habit. So they're saying the habit makes the monk, but really what makes the monk is the habit of his being, and the repetition keeps coming in. And thanks for mentioning Mary. I mean, I just look in my own path, like ever since A Course of Love came in and just reintroduced the feminine in a way that's just been fantastic, that I will find myself asking Mary. And the Anna books to me are just like so impactful in feeling that energy, especially when I learned more about the Essenes and the Magdalens, what it all was. They're doing their homework like we're doing our homework, and then it gets ingrained in me. But to bring in and add that feminine, to have it be part of it, because it's an incarnated experience, that I've incarnated it in me also. So thanks for mentioning that. That's great. The chair recognizes the lady from San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, I I just felt really strongly when we have that relationship within ourself, when we make our love our own, I think it was stated, that that pours out of us. That's an energy in expansion that goes beyond what's within me. It makes that connection to others around me. I see them differently because I feel it so strongly within me. I don't have the judgment. I don't have the opinion. I feel them as loving beings, and it's through my own relationship within me that brings that out to others. And in so
Yeah,
doing, I'm giving, but I'm receiving because I have the relationship there. So.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Beautiful. And I love how Jesus brings it around at the beginning to say it's the relationship that I have within myself, that I cannot not do it without this relationship. And it's, one of the best example. Well, maybe it's the only example of two is one and one is two. It's great. And then it rolls out of me to everything, and then just, I receive big time. That's great. Thank you. Very awesome. Anybody else? Any comments? Any thoughts? Any things coming up? All right. Mr. Rubin, would you like to continue reading? You have the book.
Yes. Number 3.
So number 3, chapter 3.
The expression of truth. The meaning of relationship. Below of my being, how else could truth make an appearance on earth as it is in heaven, but through you? You have come into the world to bear witness to it. No one can stop doing so because it is what you and all things are. As the Spirit of wisdom, I will clarify. Whether you accept your true identity in love or deny it, you are bearing witness to truth. Either option has effects. Since the tree is known by its fruit, you can remember love through both its presence and its absence.
Wow, that's good.
I say this here so you do not worry about whether or not you are walking the path of holiness. You have always traveled it. Everyone goes through it, and in one way or another. One more. We say we will give relationship a central place in these writings. Relationship based on your true being, that is, on the love you are, the same human relationships that you have known and formed, but devoid of any desire to possess or to obtain any type of benefit. When you relate to others and everything in that way, you are relating with holy love. And it is by giving the one receives. I give love, I receive love. That's the embodiment of love. Let love lead the way.
Absolutely.
That's it, Ruben. You are whole and perfect. Thank you. I'm complete.
Yes, you are. Absolutely. Well, just hearing you say that, I just realized that there's always been this spark in me of joy. It's just, I've just got that one. I got to see it early on. It got revealed. I didn't know where it was from, or it didn't matter. It was just rolling out of me. It's just one of the things I got this time around. And that's all I've ever gotten back. And I would look around and look at people, and they were having all these problems in life, and I couldn't get, now I understand why. If one does not know that they are loved, they can't give that, they can't extend that, and they're going to get back what it is they think about themselves. And that word insignificance is pretty good. That's, pretty much what we've all been taught. So I don't know, is it the luck of the draw that something like the crack happened and the light got in, and the joy quotient got released in me? Who knows? Who cares? Gratitude's the attitude. But that love has come back to me so much. Yeah, I get what the mechanism is now. So thank you for sharing it that way. Africa, do you have the book? Okay, Joan, do you have the book? No. Okay. Well, we're back to the top. That would be me. I'll read the beginning of this again. Oh, also, it's 10:48. Ione, is this the class where we like take the last 5 minutes and just sit still? Okay.
Yes, it's the
Well,
class where
let me
we,
just,
yeah, that's just correct. And
this is that one.
this is that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, great. All right. So
Oh, do you
we're
want to?
approaching that. Let me read this again, and then we'll see where we are time-wise. Chapter 3, the expression of truth. Part 1, the meaning of relationship. Beloved of my being, how else could truth make an appearance on earth as it is in heaven, but through you? You have come into the world to bear witness to it. No one can stop doing so. because it is what you and all things are. As the spirit of wisdom, I will clarify. Whether you accept your true identity in love or deny it, you are bearing witness to truth. Either option has effects. Since the tree is known by its fruit, you can remember love through both its presence and its absence. That's amazing. I say this here so you do not worry about whether or not you are walking the path of holiness. You have always traveled it. Everyone goes through it in one way or another. We said we would give relationship a central place in these writings. Relationships based on your true being, that is, on the love you are, and the same human relationships that you have known in form, but devoid of any desire to possess or to obtain any type of benefit. When you relate to others and everything in that way, you are relating with holy love. Did we read more? Well, I'll just read one more paragraph just because it sounds like fun. Relationships of embodied love are based on love's holy purpose, which is none other than to spread love. The new man and the new woman, holy exponents of the new humanity, relate on the basis of helping all aspects of relationship to be what they truly are, including themselves. I'll just keep going here for a little bit. In deified humanity, relationship no longer has the same meaning it once did. It stops being a system to satisfy needs or achieve a goal. It becomes an exchange of vital energy and unity that makes the free expression of each person's true identity manifest in a flow of holy expanse, unlimited and joyful, to continue being love uninterruptedly is the watchword of every holy relationship of the new humanity and yours from now on forever. Wow. Fantastic. It's 10:52. So let's take 5 minutes of stillness, and then we'll come back. We'll have a few minutes to, if anyone has anything they want to share. I'll set a time.
Yes, and in Jim, in that
Yes.
stillness, one of the things that we would like to do is practice. The habit makes the monk, right? So practice embodying. I mean, we've had the grace and blessing to receive all of this beautiful energy, all these beautiful words. We just so filled up after this class. And then to then allow that extension of all that we have within us out into the world, sending peace, sending love, emanating that out into all parts of love, all parts of the world, all parts of humanity. Just really practicing that embodiment and extension and expansiveness that we've been reading about. And internalizing and embodying. And this group is very, very powerful. And there's a lot of things going on out there in the world right now. So I know that our drops in that big ocean ripple out very, very far. So just a little addendum to the stillness.
That's fantastic. Thank you. All right. I'll set a timer for 5 minutes. When you hear the crickets, you know the time's up. All right. Thanks, everybody. Absolutely amazing.
Yes, it was.
It's been my great honor to facilitate the expression of love and joy. It's a great job, and somebody gets to do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for
Today,
doing it today, Jim.
That's great. All
I
right.
just want to express my appreciation and the gratitude for the joining this morning and always our shared relationship in love and in truth.
Mm.
And another wonderful day.
Yeah,
Here we are.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
thanks, Jim.
Bye.
Thanks, Christina. Ciao.
Thanks, everyone. See you everywhere.